Hi friends, we are continuing on with our math review from chapter 10. We got up to number 4 yesterday, so now we're going to continue with question number 5. The question is, the chopstick is, we don't know how many units longer than the toothbrush. This little unit is all these units put together, kind of like our math manipulatives that we have here in the classroom that we hook together. So this question wants to know the chopstick is how many bricks longer than the toothbrush? Okay, well, let's look at this. Here's the chopstick, and it's lined up perfectly with our math, with all our math bricks put together. So let's count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 bricks long. So I don't forget that. I'm going to write that down right next to my measuring stick, which is 9 math bricks long. So that's how long the chopstick is. Now the question is, the chopstick is how many bricks longer than the toothbrush? So that means we have to measure the toothbrush now. Let's see how we're going to do that. I think because it's not lined up end to end, we need to draw a little imaginary line from one end and then the other to see exactly how many units there are. So let's count these together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 units. So now we know the toothbrush is 5 of these little bricks and the chopstick is 9. The question again, the chopstick is how many bricks longer than the toothbrush? Longer, we want to see what the difference is between the long one and the one that's shorter. And difference means subtraction. So let's think of an equation so we can get the right answer. Subtraction, we have 9, that's our chopstick, and we want to know what the difference is between the chopstick and the toothbrush, which is 5. So there's our equation. And that's a simple one. We know that one right away, don't we? We know that that's 4. 4. So here are our answer choices. Let's see if we've got the right one. A says 1. That's not right. We know that's not right because it's definitely longer than 1. B says 5. Now that's kind of tricky. They're trying to trick us here, but we can't be fooled. 5 is how long the toothbrush is. It's not the difference between the two. So 5 isn't the right answer either. C says 6. Is 6 the right answer? No, we don't have any 6s here. We know 6 isn't the right answer. D is 4. Is that the right answer? It is the right answer, so that's the one you circle. The chopstick is 4 bricks longer than the toothbrush. There we go. So now you could actually count. These two aren't in the toothbrush measurement, and these aren't in the toothbrush measurement. So another way to approach this problem could be just to count the other ones that aren't included in the toothbrush. So here's 1, 2, and here's 3, 4. 4 is our answer. 4 is the right way to go on that. Good. Let's go on to the next one. Number 5. Let's get to the very top so we can see it. Maybe we can get, yeah. And let me erase these real quick. Okay. Now, this question is, number 6. Which side of the triangle is the shortest? Which side is the shortest? Well, if we just eyeballed it, we could pretty much tell that A and B are longer than C, but let's do it a more precise scientific way. If you had a unit of measure, like your pencil or an eraser, or in my case, my marker, I could do how many markers each side are. But in order to make it really precise, I've just taken a long piece of paper towel and I'm going to measure this side of my angle. And it's this long. This side of the triangle is this long. That's side A. Side B is the same length. It's that long. Now let's try side C. Huh, look at that. It's way shorter. Here's how long A and B are, and here's where C is, so it's way shorter. So that's another way to get a more precise measurement if you weren't going to just look at it and try and eyeball it. Side C is the shortest side. Okay? That was the way we would approach that problem. Now let's look at the next one. Number 7. Okay, cross out the cabinet. Make sure I can get it lined up here so we can see it. That's not quite right. How about like that? There we go. Cross out the cabinet that is taller than cabinet A and shorter than cabinet D. Taller than cabinet A and shorter than cabinet D. Now, this is a pretty tricky question. I want you to look at all these cabinets. They all have 3 drawers, don't they? But the problem is the drawers aren't the same size. So there is a difference. So let's look at this. Cross out the cabinet that's taller than cabinet A and shorter than cabinet D. Let's start with the first part. Taller than cabinet A. Now we could take our piece of paper or our paper towel and do an official measurement like we did with the triangle if we didn't want to eyeball it. There's cabinet A. Is B taller than cabinet A? No, it's not taller than cabinet A. Let's look at C. Is C taller than cabinet A? Look at that, it is a little bit taller. So C is definitely taller than A. What about D? Let's go to D. D's quite a bit taller, okay? So we know B is not gonna work for our first criteria, but C and D could be. So now we need to narrow it down whether it's C or D. And we did have a big and in our equation, or in our problem. So let's see what it says. So now we know, cross out the cabinet taller than cabinet A and shorter than cabinet D. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's turn our paper over. We're gonna measure cabinet D, and it's gonna go this long. Which one is shorter now? Is cabinet C shorter than cabinet D? It is, look it, it's this much shorter. Is cabinet B, well we already know cabinet B is way shorter. What about cabinet A? Look at that, it's shorter than cabinet A too. Okay, so now we know C is shorter than D and C is also taller than A. Let's read the question one more time. Cross out the cabinet that is taller than cabinet A. C works for that, it's taller, and shorter than cabinet D. And C works for that too. So that's the one we're gonna cross out. This was a tricky one because it had 2 parts to it. Had an and in there, you have to remember 2 parts. Taller than A and shorter than D. And C fits both those criteria. Okay, good. Let's move on to the last one for today, and that's gonna be number 8. This one's an easy one. I think you guys will get this one pretty quickly. Cross off my marks, erase my marks. Okay, number 8. Cross out the longer string of beads. Longer. That means bigger, taller, longer. It's going to take more beads to get a longer string. So let's count and see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Since I don't always remember, I'm going to write the number right underneath it. 9 beads on this string. Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, pretty close, huh? They're trying to trick us, but we can't be fooled. Cross out the longer string of beads. 9 beads is going to be longer than 8 beads. We could use our paper towel to measure this too if we wanted, but I think we know already 9 beads are longer than 8, so we're going to cross this one out. Okay? We'll save number 9 for tomorrow. In the meantime, try and stay healthy.